From the Penn Libraries.
So I'm in the art history department, and I'm one of very few students who works on East Asian art in general at Penn, but in particular we only have two working on Japanese art history. And like my advisor, I'm a specialist in ukiyo-e, which means prints of the floating world. In this case, the floating world of like the pleasure districts in early modern, what's now Tokyo in Edo. So these are like kabuki theater prints a lot of the time, or what are called bijinga, which are images of beautiful women. And if you've ever seen a Japanese print, even if you don't even know that's what it was, probably everyone has seen something like Hokusai's Great Wave, or like the Mount Fuji. So that's ukiyo-e. But what people usually think of are these really colorful, beautiful, very vibrant kinds of images, but there's this whole history of ukiyo-e in the first half of the period that is mainly monochrome. It's sumi ink, maybe with limited color printing. We haven't fully explored what really happened there in this kind of key moment in the mid-18th century. So my project is about looking at this moment of early full color printing, where they're using not just the key block, which does the black outline, but then also every color you see in ukiyo-e is a separate block of wood. So it's a really laborious process, and one that made a huge impact. I mean, kind of revolutionized visual culture in that moment, and brought today what we know of as like the Japanese prints, the history of Japanese prints. So that's what I'm working on. When I was trying to figure out what my dissertation topic would be, and it's changed a bit over time, I really didn't know. You know, I thought, oh, I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do that, and my advisor said to me, maybe what you need to do is just go, because I couldn't make a decision. It was like, maybe one of the things you need to do right now is go and use your eyes. I mean, we're art historians, and you really have to be, I think anyone has to be really passionate about what they work on. You have to really want to spend time with it for a number of years. So you need to be really drawn to the objects for one reason or another. So one of the things I did is I came up here to the 5th floor, and I went into the stacks where we have these large format books that are beautifully produced, usually by publishers in Japan, of Japanese art collections, and specifically ukiyo-e, both domestic and foreign. And so something like the ukiyo-e shuka was a really great resource for me, because I would literally sit there in the stacks and pull out these books and just go page by page through things. And you kind of, there's a certain image saturation level that you reach, but in the process, you realize what really starts to stand out to you. And one of the things for me was I realized I was really interested in materiality. I was interested in, not just the subjects depicted and that kind of thing, but what kind of paper were they using? And there are some where you get these lustrous effects. They'll have mica dusting or actual gold and silver applied, embossing. These kinds of things I realized I was really drawn to, because it's a specific kind of choice and indicates certain things about the level of the production. It's not just this mass, images for the masses, for the common people. These were really valued objects by really high-level elite consumers too. So that actually helped lead me to my dissertation topic, because one of the artists I work on worked with private patrons and poetry groups to produce these really elaborate, beautiful images right at that first moment of full color printing. Yeah. Things everyone uses, like JSTOR and other kinds of electronic resources, like to get to a lot of the Japanese periodicals and things like that. It's great to be able to do that from anywhere. I could be on campus, I could be over in the Fisher Fine Arts Library, I could be in Van Pelt, I could be at home or in a coffee shop. And I actually just came back from 2 years in Tokyo, and it was actually kind of amazing to be able to access those things from Tokyo. And I mean, Tokyo probably seems like a place that's very wired, but it's actually sometimes really hard to get access to materials. So to be able to do it through Penn on the other side of the world was great.